Cap Block Radio. Welcome. We're live. It is Wednesday, December 10th, 2014. Joining me in studio, it's Centurion.
What's up?
Hey, Centurion.
How are you?
I'm great. And I am, of course, your host, Eric J. You can join us online at lrn.fm, the Liberty Radio Network. And Dio is in Ohio.
What's happening, Cop Blockers?
Hey. Nothing much. It's an exciting night here in Keene in the Shire. Free Talk Live just wrapped up. Centurion, you're joining me. Are you doing any cop blocking later tonight? Are you taking the evening off?
Not tonight. I got the children. But
Okay.
Thursday and Friday I may. And we're starting a new chapter in Burlington, Vermont in 2 weeks.
Wow. Okay. That's exciting. And Centurion, you said that we'll be speaking with Liberty Phoenix soon. He's one of the frequent callers on the Liberty Radio Network shows.
Yeah, I figured, he's in Illinois, so, Illinois is trying to make it illegal to film the police, so I figured who better to talk about it than somebody from Illinois, right?
Right.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And this cops wearing cameras story has been really the theme of the week. We've been hearing a lot of news about, Obama wants to put cameras on cops. We talked a little bit about that last week and questioning its effectiveness. We didn't get to hear from you on that topic, Centurion. So while we're connecting with Liberty Phoenix with this story about it being illegal to film some police, tell us what you think about cops wearing cameras. And about your role filming the police, for those who don't know you.
I think it's a pretty good idea if it works. But the most I know the cities that do have the lapel cams, they always go down. The SD cards go missing. Like I would say 60% of them aren't even used in court. And they just make up stupid excuses of why they don't work. The equipment gets smashed. It's just I think the public should be viewing every time they see a police officer. It's nice to see, in Manchester, when a cop pulls up, you see just regular neighbors. They're all out there on their porches, taping all the police. It's awesome. And I think I think the public needs to reestablish their jurisdiction over public officials, and that's where it's at. I don't think the public officials should be, doing our job for us.
Definitely.
Well, I'd like to learn more. Joining us on the line is Liberty Phoenix. You can call in to the show 413-418-COPS or Skype Cop Block Radio gets you on the air like Liberty Phoenix, who joins us from Illinois. Hey, Liberty Phoenix.
How you doing tonight, gentlemen?
Excellent.
How are you?
What's up, my friend?
So tell us about this Illinois law where it's apparently illegal to film police, or at least they want it to be.
Yeah, the scuttlebutt that I had heard was that it was only going to make it illegal if you recorded them where they did not have a reasonable expectation of privacy, which, as everybody supposedly knows, as the masters, as we call them, have decreed that you have a reasonable expectation of privacy when you're out in public, out in the open air, not underneath the building or so forth. But there's a little problem with that. I was taking a look at the actual writing of the bill, and there's a little part. Let's see here. I believe it's section 2, line 25. It's where they determine and describe what a private conversation constitutes. And from 23 to 26, it says, a reasonable expectation shall include any expectation recognized by law, including but not limited to, and this is the line that gets it, an expectation derived from a privilege, immunity, or right established by common law, Supreme Court rule, or the Illinois or the United States Constitution.
What? That's confusing. That sounds like legalese. I don't get it. Explain.
Is that for everybody or just public officials?
No, that's just for public officials. Anybody, I guess anybody that has. But if you have an expectation of privacy in public that's derived from a privilege, immunity, or right established by common law, Supreme Court rule, or Illinois or United States Constitution, then you're probably a government official. I don't think that there's any general public that has any privileges, immunities, or rights. So apparently, guess what, guys? We were wrong the whole time.
It's basically,
to grant extra rights.
it's basically you're saying that because of their police, they have the ability to claim immunity under that.
Oh, absolutely. It explicitly states that in here.
Okay.
Where does it say?
Is there a protest going against that?
Oh, probably not.
This has already passed through the Senate and the House in Illinois. This is waiting for a governor's signature.
You're kidding me.
That's right. It's sitting on Quinn's desk
How
right
long ago did this pass? Was this before all the cops wearing cameras thing came out?
This is the first I've even heard of it just this recent week.
Yeah, but it's so rare that the legislature just forces something through. I mean, they drag their feet on everything. So this can't be new.
Somebody just sent me also a news story, ABC news story, where they were talking about. It was just a video of the news story where they were talking about the NYPD was talking about trying to put a halt to the activists, the filming police activists, based on that video where the cop supposedly took something out of the guy's pocket and it was a wad of cash. He did a pat down. He just took the cash out of his pocket and then he walked away. Didn't arrest nobody. Didn't do nothing.
Interesting.
Yeah, so let's make it against the law because we got crooked cops. We don't want people to know about that at all. It's stealing money from people.
Yeah, they were saying like a 15-second video is not evidence of anything. So, to try to cut down on the police filming activists, and it's just like, whoa. Good
luck. It's already, the judges with the big robes up on Federal Hill already said we can, so.
Their standard operating procedure. Downplay it and just ignore it, and it goes away. Don't give it. The media is not going to give it hype, so nobody's going to know about it. They don't have to worry about it. The system plays it for them. But one of the most there's a few really important things about this bill. Page 5, line 23 says it does not constitute a violation of this article to surreptitiously, meaning to secretly, use an eavesdropping device to overhear, transmit, or record a private conversation, or to surreptitiously, meaning secretly, intercept, record, or transcribe to a private electronics communication, blah, blah, blah. They can do it as long as it's done in accordance with Article 108 or Article 108B of the Code of Criminal Procedures, meaning they have every right to do it and you can't do it at all, slave.
Right.
How did this come to your attention?
I saw a brief post on it on Facebook about a day or two ago, and then Deal called me earlier today and gave me a heads up about it, and I was like, no, man, it's not completely illegal. It's just where they don't have an expectation of privacy. I hadn't read the bill yet, and I was like, you know what, I have to check it out.
Are you conveying away from Illinois as can you give any indication that we're still connected? Apparently not.
There we go.
Okay, so are you moving to New Hampshire? Phoenix.
I'm moving to New Hampshire in February.
Oh, okay. Wow. I was actually asking that question tongue-in-cheek, but that's terrific. Yeah. When you hear legislation like that where they're saying it's illegal to film police, you might want to consider leaving if you're a person who values freedom. We'll be right back. We'll take your calls about police accountability. 413-418-COPS. We have Centurion of Keene on the line in studio. This is Cop Block Radio.
When I found the Free State Project, I knew it was the key to achieving liberty.
Yeah, what happened? We lost you?
It's awesome to be surrounded by like-minded, freedom-loving activists.
Yeah, we lost you and LP at the same time. What happened?
I don't know. It just disconnected. You want to try to get it back?
Yeah, I'm gonna try and add him.
You know, the cops here have been losing like a lot of court cases with them just even trying to go against the recording thing.
We all straight now?
Still connecting to Liberty Phoenix. Hey,
Right,
can we add this broadcast to copblock.org? I know you said you wanted to do that. I have the embed code.
Okay.
Oh, we got someone calling in.
Is it just like a link or?
No. Oh, and I guess I was too late.
I gotta go get something to drink. I'll be right back.
All right. Invite to conference. Yeah, there we go. Cops are gay. That's great. Would you bring me my water, please? Hey,
Yes, honey.
do we have cops are gay on the line? No. I guess not. Hello?
Just trying to tune in.
Hey, you're on.
Trying to tune in?
Yeah. Wanna try and watch?
Okay, I recommend you do that at lrn.fm.
Okay,
Thank you.
I'll try that.
Okay.
What, did you run to the store and back?
No, I just had to go up to the refrigerator.
Leave my man alone. He's got a bad heart.
Yeah, really. And some not so good lungs.
I was having a hard time keeping up with him. I cop blocked with him.
So, no, I have some embed code. It's like some text that you put in the post as HTML, and then it shows up as a box of video.
Okay.
I'm shocked that the Chicago legislature is allowed to even pass a bill like that.
It passed overwhelmingly. I think there was only 9 legislators that voted against it. Two Republicans, I think 7 Democrats.
Do you have any more about that story, or is that it for that one?
I think that's pretty much it. There's they can record, but you can't. Else,
I want to talk about how Copblock's Facebook page got taken down twice this week. We got Mike Vance who wants to add. Answering this call will put your active call on hold. Well, I don't want to do that, but I don't have a good option here.
You hang up on them and then you add them to the group call.
Go hang up. Add people. No, that's not right. Add to favorites? No.
No.
Why don't they make this easy?
Right click on their icon and just add to group.
I did right click on his icon. That is not an option.
Eric, you're Derek. You're grumpy when you just wake up.
Well, I got bells and whistles ringing off at me. All right, trying to run a show here.
Into more ears. Visit
It is Christmas.
promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
Cop Block Radio, we're live. It's Wednesday, December 10th, 2014. You can call in, take control, share your stories of police accountability. 413-418-COPS or Skype, Cop Block Radio, like Mike is doing from Lima County Cop Block. What's going on, Mike?
Not much. What's going on, Derek?
Living and loving.
Man. Hey, I have
what you got for us?
I have a friend. I mean,
Oh, you got a friend.
I got a friend, man.
Yeah, go ahead.
No,
Dave's not here.
He's not here yet. He's not here yet. But the reason I called in tonight, I'm going to kick back for a minute. I'm going to wait on him. But This guy is one of my closest friends. He's like a brother to me, man. I've
What
known
guy?
him for
What are you talking about?
This guy's name is Don, and I'll tell you why. What the deal is with him? He is trying to support us in the cop block movement, but he does not like and is trying to understand our methods and the way that we go about things on the page. And
who's we? What are you talking about? Well, who
I'm talking about cop block admins. I'm talking about cop block admins in general.
Let's be clear. You're the admin of what Facebook page?
Lima Allen County Cop Block.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you're speaking about your Facebook page?
No, we're talking about all of the pages out here. He's looked at several of these pages. I mean, this is a good. I mean, like I said, this guy's like my brother. I'm trying to reel him in and let him see, the movement.
What are the problems that he's having with the admins on the pages? I mean, you collectivize them by saying we, so we understand that. So what's the problem that he has?
You know what? I'm gonna have to let me see if I can get him to call in, man. Because I don't want to speak for him.
Okay. Well, when you're ready with that, let us know. I've got a story.
Yeah. Sure.
Departments are now having a hard time finding people who want to be police officers. Filmingcops.com has the story. They're blaming social media. What do you think?
They should be blaming themselves. They should be blaming how many years of oppressive policing that they've been going through.
You're damn right.
The reputation that they've
Keene is having
given
the
themselves.
same problem. Nobody wants to work in the Keene area.
That's
I know Cleveland didn't say that they were having problems finding people, but they've been putting out ads for come join the police force and stuff, and come fill out the application and all that.
So I forgot to ask the important question before we connected here, guys. Is everyone safe? Have you been contacted by the federal government?
No.
No.
All right, very
Just
good.
I have strange vehicles driving by my house.
Do you? That's no laughing matter.
I have people beeping and yelling out their window by mine.
Oh, that's true. That's true. That is, and people can read about that at freekeene.com. That is
That's
something.
because they're trying to coax you out to come party with them.
No,
wish.
it's an average. I live across the street from the Keene Activist Center, so.
There's a black SUV that drives by every day at 2:30. I wonder what they're doing.
Well,
I
was
come on out.
I was contacted by the government this week, and it was not so pleasant. Two things. I got a speeding ticket, womp womp, and then I got a warning. The warning was the one that was kind of a good one. I went through a red light. Okay, I confess.
I did that.
There was no one coming. I looked. I was tired of waiting. And it made no sense for me to just stay there. So I pulled one of these. I pulled one of these things where you let off the brake and you just sort of let the gas just kind of guide you, like you're coasting, like you're ready to hit the gas when the light turns green. But it just never happened. So I'm like, all right, I'm coasting along this light at like 2 miles an hour.
He's halfway in the intersection.
I'm in the middle of the intersection anyway. I'm like, I'm just going to finish this thing. And I cross the intersection.
Well, you're committed at that point. So
I'm like, all right, I'm done. Okay, the light didn't change. There was no one coming anyway. Big deal. Woo! Got the lights coming on. All right, I pull over. Cop comes up.
Where did he come from? Was he behind you or?
He was at the light on the other side of it. So he was like perpendicular. I didn't really.
So he was watching you do it.
He watched. Yeah, he just watched me coast along.
Well, that gives you 2 opportunities for attempts at jury nullification.
Well,
What's
so
the
this
warning?
is
You
what
got
I'm
a
thinking.
warning.
So this is what's going through my head. It's like, all right, keep your hands on the wheel. No sudden movements. Your license and registration is above your head. I'm thinking like, where's all your stuff? All right.
Hey,
And
Derek,
yes.
I'm sorry, man. I didn't mean to slice you here, real.
Well, you did.
Dawn,
What you
Dawn is
got?
there? Dawn is there?
Goddamn slicer, man.
I'm slicing you, man. I'm sorry. Hey, he's trying to call in right now. I don't know.
Oh, right.
Are you
Yep.
able to take him or?
Yeah. Oops. I have the phone line disconnected. Let me make sure we tell him to try again in a minute, and we'll be connected.
Okay, he's probably. I'm sure he's listening.
That was my mistake. Sorry, anyone who's trying to call in.
Make sure he turns his radio off before he.
That's
gets
always a
connected.
good tip. Yep. Turn your radio off.
Or mute it or something.
Okay, I'm gonna. Yeah, I'm actually trying to text him here. So, but
Okay.
man, he. Jeez, we've been going back and forth for weeks about the page when we started and everything, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, I mean, he's got some pretty good points about what we're doing, but he just isn't. I don't know, man. Like I said, I can't. I don't want to speak for him. I'm gonna let him.
Well, he's gonna do the talking. You're probably you're probably not gonna be able to hear him, but we will.
I'm
So-
gonna kick back.
So we're gonna get. We're
I hope I
connected
can
now.
hear him.
Call. You won't be able to hear him. I'm
Dawn, are you
telling you,
there?
it'll be just me and Centurion who hears him. So
What do you mean I'm
Go
not gonna
ahead.
be able to hear him?
go ahead, caller from the 419 area code. You're live.
That's right. This is Don. Hey, you know, and once again, I just want to make sure you guys understand, I do support the idea of cop block. I support the whole.
You're kidding. I'm not.
The-
gonna be
Why do I
theory of
sense a
it is
butt
great.
is coming? I support
sorry, what?
cop block, but
Yeah, the big butt's coming. That's right. Yeah.
So what's your
So-
what's your reservations?
Well, the biggest thing is, you know, and we know cop block supposedly, I will say in quotes, does not, or is not anti-law enforcement, is not anti-cop.
correct. There's a
And-
Welcome Leos page, copblock.org/Welcome Leos. They
Correct.
welcome law enforcement.
So now, when I look at the Lime Allen County Cop Block website,
Why
I
can't I
can
hear this
find
guy
and I
here?
can cite
What's
specific
going on, man?
examples of a lot of things that seem to be, at least to me, anti-law enforcement.
Mm-hmm. Like what?
So, well, I can give you one example: a picture of a pig with the cop's face. I mean, you're not going to gain support with things like that.
Okay, fair point. We'll hear more from Don. Are you able to stay on the line?
Yeah.
All
I'll
right,
be here.
terrific. We'll hear more from Don on the other end. You're able to call in, share your stories. 413-418-COPS. Are we out of line?
Since time began, tyrants have taken
Hey,
personal
Don,
liberties.
please
Now
hold.
there's
Are you
a
able
that
to
brings
call
back.
back in just about
no more
1
right
minute?
to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have.
Check. Don, hello.
Yeah, I'm here.
Can you call
I'm trying
in?
to turn my computer off so I don't get
Appreciate
feedback.
that. I appreciate that. Can you call back in a minute? I want to switch lines and see if our
Sure.
guests can hear you.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Will do.
Call back in. So I'm gonna try and put them on this. Oh shoot! I can't put them on this computer because I'm live already on this computer. Uh-oh. There's no way to do it. I'm sorry, Mike. There's no way that I know of to
Oh shit.
put all of us on together.
Mike,
Yeah.
if you have a little, if you have a headphone that you can plug in the headphone jack, you can listen to it on LRN instead of listening to it through the phone call. But then you won't be able to speak. So you have to make sure you can be Johnny on the spot with the fucking thing to mute it and not. We don't have to interrupt
Dan.
to say you can't hear. We already knew.
No.
Are we there now?
Well,
Yeah,
that-
we're not
Okay.
live, but
So-
unfortunately they
Then you-
can't hear you.
Okay.
You
Okay.
cannot
So
hear me?
so if
I can, but
have to
some of
mute
our
your
guests
mic
can't.
on a Skype and then
Oh,
listen on
geez,
the show.
okay.
Just
and
a
then-
moment.
What do you want me to do?
okay, so I can.
Just
Okay,
hang
I
tight.
can do
We'll just
that.
do the interview when the radio
There's-
comes on and ask the guests to just let you talk.
But okay, so then
Okay.
if I need to say something, if I need to say something,
Yeah, I've got
then
the website
actually
off
have to,
now. That way there's
I
no
can stop the
feedback.
LRN and then jump back into the
I'm gonna see.
Yeah, but you might as well just shut up because there's a 7-second delay and you're not going to be able to keep up. Just listen to what's going on.
I got an idea.
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
That's the reason I
what's
call.
the
I
idea?
just want to listen to him. Hey, listen, I want to tell you
All right.
something about this guy, man.
Yeah, we
This is
ain't
one of
got
my
all
best-
day. This is only a little break, so.
All right, okay, Dio. Hey, bite me, Dio.
All right.
Hey,
Everyone hang tight. I got a new idea that maybe we can hear each other talk. So
Okay, awesome.
I'm going to sign
It's just not the long break.
a long break. So we got 90 seconds. This is what I want to try. I'm going to keep Don on the line that he's on. I'm going to sign in on Skype on a different computer. So everyone who's on Skype, I'm going to disconnect from you, and I'm going to try and reconnect to you now. 10-4?
copy
Sure,
that.
I'm still here.
All right. Very good.
That's sat.lrn.fm. Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it. And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit
Check, 1, 2,
to
1,
read
2.
and sign the Shire
Can
Society
you hear me?
Declaration and learn the reasons why.
I can hear you.
Can you hear the
You
ads?
should immigrate to the Shire.
Yep.
Yes,
Plus,
I can hear
add
the
yourself
ads.
to the Shire map
Yes.
at
Dio, can you hear Don?
shiresociety.com. That
Yes.
Don, can you talk to Liberty Phoenix?
Hey,
I
hello,
got it.
Liberty Phoenix. Can you hear me?
Good, good. Everyone hang tight.
hours a day at lrn.fm.
Welcome back. It's Cop Block Radio, and I was just telling a story about I was pulled over. I was getting a warning, and then we had a caller, Don, who joins us, who was telling a story of his own. Don, finish up with your story. We've got everyone connected, and now I believe we can all hear each other.
He was just about to tell us his reservations about the page.
Right, right. You have a complaint about the copblock.org page. Sometimes there are images of police with pig faces. Is that the complaint?
Clarify. Copblock.org itself, I can't speak to that. I've looked at that a little bit. I don't see that happening with them. My issue is with the Lime Island County Copblock.org.
Okay.
Lime Island County Copblock page.
Okay.
And like I had told Mike, you know, I'm on the fence. I'm not even on the fence. I'm actually supporting the idea and the theory. But to get more followers, to get people like me to back this 100%, I really feel like if I'm going to associate myself with this, it can't be anti-cop.
Great point.
It can't be anti-law enforcement.
How do you respond to that, Mike? You're one of the administrators of the Facebook page that Don is talking about. Apparently, we don't have Mike on the
We can
line.
get Mike back.
Okay. No, I guess we don't yet have Mike to
So
respond to these
It
charges.
sounds to me that you have a specific problem with that chapter.
Well, yeah.
Not any other chapter.
I will tell you what we do have. That he did make that clear that it was specifically their Facebook page. Well, but I will tell you, we do have, and it looks like Mike will be joining us in just a moment. We do have a Welcome Leo's page at facebook.org/welcome LEOS. And I'm doing a screen share for those of you who are watching it at home. You can see what that looks like. It says, "Hi, welcome to copblock.org's Welcome Leo page. I know you might not have expected to find such a page at copblock.org, but most of the members active here are not cop haters. Everyone values safety the question is how best that good or service can be supplied. Hint, it's not through a coercive monopoly. And what a great sentiment that can be shared. And I think that does help bring us all together. Think about that, some sort of page like as a or law enforcement. Are you law enforcement, by the way, caller Don?
No, I am not. I am not at all.
What's your background?
I work for a utility company. Actually, I'm kind of like the electric police. I go shut people off. So I guess maybe I am kind of electric enforcement. But,
wow. And how were you introduced to Cop Block?
Well, I learned through Mike. You know, me and Mike are great friends, and I was with him the whole time on this until I started really checking the page out, and that's where I started having issues. And my goal would be what his original goal was, to get as many followers to believe in this theory and this idea of holding the police accountable. When I go on the website, it seems to me, and like I said, I can give specific examples. It seems like there's a lot of anti-cop sentiment, and I just feel like to get this idea out there to people that maybe don't feel this way, but they might not be opposed to the idea of Cop Block, but once they see this website, it's going to turn them off. And I'm actually trying to help the website, but I can't support it the way it is now.
And what is, you understand that it's decentralized in every Derek, that every person doesn't have a boss, and they can act and think in freedom of speech on their own. If they have like a lot of anger and resentment towards police, you probably, I mean, I don't know how many admins are on that page, so I can't speak for that chapter, but I know King Cop Block chapter, I'm one of the admins, and we don't put things like that on, and it's just straight stories. I'm more anti-oppression more than I am anti-cop.
I'm not saying anything here offensive here on this page, and we're doing a little screen share. The first thing on there is just doing their jobs to serve and protect. Second post is a huge thanks to Mushroom Graphics for making some flyers, and then the third thing is good news, a positive news story about police. So I'm not calling you a liar, but I'm not seeing much that's negative on this page.
I can actually give you some examples. Well, one was the pig with the cop face on it.
Okay.
I'm trying to pull up November 26th. Now we're talking, a month ago or so.
So is it possible? Is it possible their attitude has changed since you've expressed this? Maybe they've changed their direction. They're a little more positive now.
Well, I would hope that's the case. I mean, I can go back to the site.
Yeah, I'm there now, and I'm scrolling through. I'm not seeing anything that's terribly offensive. Maybe an image of Lady Liberty with a choke collar. Says police.
Okay, here's one from November 29th. Ad says his wife, sister, father, and brother-in-law. I mean, I think that has some undertones to it as well. That's not anything near what's really a big deal. But I can give you some more examples.
Yeah,
there's a comment.
Yeah, sure.
From November 26th. So many lives have been affected by the cowardly acts of a wannabe thug in a uniform. I mean, that itself is a little bit anti-police.
Well, so what do you object to about that statement?
Well, that statement specifically, we're calling cops thugs. That'd be like me calling all criminal or all people who are arrested thugs, in which we know that's not the case.
Yeah, so it sounds like your complaint is about collectivizing language that groups everyone together, regardless of each individual's action, right? That you're saying there are some people who are police who are not thugs, and so to call them all thugs is wrong.
I agree with that. November 23rd, here's a comment from Lebanon County Cop Block. I have to say that Sunday brings out some of the most ignorant sons of bitches I've ever seen in my life. I've heard and witnessed more Gestapo bullshit and irrational sheep thinkers in one day, and so on and so on.
Yeah.
That's a comment towards one of the public posters. you know, to use language like that, I mean, you're not going to get, you're leaving out a lot of people that would. How about, let me find another one here.
Well, let me speak on this for a second here, man.
Well, if I read the New York Times, I'm gonna see one story out of 50 that I'm gonna like, and the rest of them are just stupid and I don't agree with, and I'm gonna get offended by. So you're gonna see that with pretty much every media outlet. Are you gonna nitpick every single one and say, okay, I'm not gonna read this paper because of that one article or that one statement? Because there are certain individuals that really don't like police that do cop block.
I think you actually stated perfectly earlier when you were talking to me how you said you do not post vulgar or you're basically posting the facts and you're saying we're going to file this story and this is what we're going to do. And I don't feel that this website specifically is doing that. I love the idea of treating it like a newspaper, and let's post facts. Let's post a story. Let's follow it. If the public wants to comment with their opinions, fine. But let's keep the cop block themselves sticking to the facts. I mean, here's
a newspaper.
Let me know when I can speak on this.
Yeah, you just jump in, DL. We're getting a lot of.
They have bosses. They got lieutenants. They got
because I'm the
presidents.
one who set Mike up with this page. All right, I told Mike to get this started because he came to me and said he wanted to get this started, and since I'm the one who's getting Ohio going, I told him to go ahead and do it. I told him before to stop, trying to comment on these trolls comments and stuff like that, and that because it's ridiculous to keep on commenting on these things. What you don't understand, Don, is that he's got guys in there that are calling him shit too. All right, these cops and stuff like that are on there posting stuff against things that he's trying to get the story out.
How do we respond to trolls? This is Cop Block Radio.
If you want to move
okay, I heard about half of what Dio said there. There was some music in the background.
Yeah, are you able to hear the music, Dio?
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard. I can hear you now. There was something in the background, but
yeah.
Can you guys hear me at all?
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Well, that's way better now. Whatever you've done, that sounds way better.
I turned the ads off.
Garrett, can you hear me at all?
I hear everybody. We all hear each other. We're all in one big room.
Great.
Okay, I didn't know,
Great.
man. I've actually just been sitting back and just kicking back.
But you can hear us.
You can even fucking
like
hear
you
me.
said, I thought
maybe Mike could have some comments to
after
this.
these people and stop commenting on these comments and stop falling into the trap of
well.
Dio,
listen,
it's decentralized. You can't control what people do.
This isn't about what anybody else is doing. I understand that. We're getting that all cleared up, man. That's not even an issue. I mean, we've had to get rid of a man, because they come on the page and they're coming there. To destroy. We know who these people are. We know why they're coming there. And the thing is that I don't want to fucking argue with people all day long.
Then stop doing it.
Well,
that has nothing to do with what's posted with the pig faces and stuff. I think people should be allowed to voice their opinions.
Yeah, exactly.
On
That's
the
why I
page
say
in
ignore 'em.
the way they want to.
You should not ban people from the site if they disagree. And all my point is Cop Block, when their little insignia is there, when they post, they need to be respectful, even if the people are being vulgar. Don't fall into that trap.
Well, Don.
Yeah, but Don, by the same token, you also need to distinguish the fact that the commenters are not always coming from, people that are supposed cop blockers or whatnot. What you read is what you.
But Deal, I want to. We have people breaking in our homes, getting tanks and driving down small towns.
Centers against what we believe in, we're just as bad as those that claim ownership over all of us.
One at a time, fellas. Damn.
I'm listening.
We all have to realize that cops out there, they're victims of the system just as much as we are. They truly believe that their authority is legitimate. And that's what the problem is. People believe in this illusion of legitimate authority. It doesn't really exist. And if we could get the police to understand that, if they could look at their power as illegitimate, then I really think that would go a long way in help curbing some of this violence.
Well, the public needs to get their jurisdiction back, and that's where it lies.
Right.
See, as long as the public keeps going to this monopoly
I'm
for
tired
service,
of playing Mr. Fucking Nice Guy.
Exactly,
guys.
exactly. I'm
Okay.
getting sick of kids getting their faces blown off, people getting killed in their own homes through illegal searches. I'm done talking about this one nice cop that I know out of 150 cops.
It's no such thing as a nice cop. They're all thieves and extortionists.
Exactly. They're badge, and it's not anti-cop. It's anti-oppression. They're the oppressors because they have a badge. Period. End of story. Okay, they get tanks and driving down through towns with only 100 people in it. They don't need Bearcats driving down with a SWAT team that looks like SEAL Team 6 in the middle of Bow, New Hampshire.
Hold that thought. We're coming back.
We have them very, it's a
Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
Welcome back. This is Cop Block Radio. You can call in 413-418-COPS. Gets you on the air like Don here, who joins us. Where are you calling from, Don?
I'm calling from Delphus, Ohio.
There you go. Hey, Ohio.
West of Lima.
All right,
Yeah.
rock on. We got an Ohio heavy crew this evening. And, of course, we're joining you from Keene in the Shire, Liberty Media capital of the world. And we're talking about dealing with trolls, how to handle them with poise and grace and respect and not lose control. Is that basically the idea?
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself. That is perfect. And let the trolls say what they want, and then the public that views the site will see who the trolls are, as long as Cop Block itself does not fall into that same trap.
Yeah, keep your head right.
So we don't have to worry about falling into that trap, okay? We're not the ones who set them up with the reputation. They're the ones who set themselves up with the reputation. If they can't handle it, that's tough fucking shit. I'm tired of playing Mr. Nice Guy and trying to pretend like everything's all hunky-dory when all this shit is going on, okay? I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat the way I feel about police brutality and shit like that just because a couple of people might get offended by it. All right, that's all.
It anyways, because when you claim that you're offended, that means you wish somebody else didn't want to say what they said, which means you're trying to stifle free speech. So to say that you're offended, it's bullshit anyways.
Exactly.
Well, maybe let me reiterate my point. I am not personally offended by it, but the goal would be to get as many people to follow this as possible. And we know that by putting anti-law enforcement sentiment in there will cause a lot of people to not follow it and think that this is a nuisance or a
that's their
joke.
problem. Then they'll join
it.
They'll get on the bus late.
On Facebook, I mean the .org went right by Police One website and like decimated their likes. And there's a lot of anti-sentiment in that. So there's millions that like Cop Block, whether that stuff is in or not. So I'm not looking for followers. I'm looking to get the message out that these guys are dressing up like SEAL Team 6 and killing our kids and choking people out and blowing up babies' faces.
Wile E. Coyote, super genius.
Yeah, mute your mic, whoever's got the train rolling through your living room.
I like that. Wile E. Coyote, super genius.
Yeah. I don't know what that has to do with anything, but yeah, this week was another week where the main copblock.org Facebook page was taken down, flagged temporarily. All the admins got their pages temporarily suspended until we said, yes, we've been bad. We acknowledge that this post made some people upset, and so now we're going to review our page and make sure that we don't have anything that hurts anyone else's feelings, and then we'll be allowed to come back on. This happened twice this week. Do you get any sort of announcements when this happens, Dio?
Yes, I do. I was in the middle of sending a message, and it all of a sudden logged me out, and I couldn't finish even sending the message. I had to go and log back in and start trying to recognize photos of people in my friends list and stuff like that, and it's retarded. Especially the one that got us taken off the one time was the meme about the Down syndrome kid who was killed by the police because in the movie theater, and there was nothing offensive about it. It was completely 100% factual, and it just, I don't know, they didn't like the picture of the Down syndrome kid on the meme or something. Somebody commented and they said, as I read how they were arguing on the comments there, they had said later on in the comments, "Oh, I didn't even read it." Well, you didn't even read it, but then you went and reported it as an offensive problem. So what exactly did you have a problem with?
Well, we would hope that Facebook would monitor, would read through it. Evidently, they didn't. And once again, I personally don't have a problem myself with this, but I know that people are going to. And once again, we need to get as many people to buy into this reality that cops need held accountable.
I'm with Don. You got to be a marketer here. If we've got good ideas, it's not just enough to have the best ideas. You got to be a marketer too. And when you coat your language in words that are offensive to people, or in ideas, the idea that we don't need police is offensive enough to people, right? We don't need to code it in language that's angry or off-putting in any additional ways.
To stop getting angry. I agree with the angry ones too, because they should have a voice too.
Well,
is there any way I can jump in here?
I don't believe in censorship at all. I don't care how pissed off people get.
I'm not saying censor. I'm just saying when you post stuff, consider yourself a marketer and remember that the message isn't going to hit with everyone. Like Don's saying, it's not.
I consider the person who had their rights violated, or the person who was murdered, or the person who was hurt. That's who I consider.
I'm not saying don't post stuff. I'm just saying, there's a way to post it in a way that you're a journalist. You're reporting facts.
The nicest guy in the world. There's going to be 20 million people. That
Man, you just hit my point. If we're trying to sell ice cream sandwiches, let's sell ice cream sandwiches.
Yeah.
Let's not sell them a pile of crap.
Yeah, we don't need the editorializing in a lot of cases. I think.
Correct, man. This is great. I'm glad to hear this.
Well, I mean, that's just one man's opinion. That's just how I feel. Obviously, you got different opinions on the line.
Decentralized movement. I mean, every single.
I mean, I don't think we need to sell it. It's pretty much sell itself.
Individual.
Well, I've just seen
it does
people.
Sell itself.
No, it doesn't, because I've seen people who handle it really well. And I've seen people who look like fools and animals when they're doing cop blocking. For example, I think Pete Eyre handles himself really well. I think being calm and keeping your volume low and being polite, even in the face of danger, rudeness, or aggression, speaks volumes and really sets the bar high for our own conduct, our own behavior, not just in interactions online, but in person as well. And then there are other people
respectfully, but we can't all be Pete Eyre.
Right, we can't all be Pete Eyre, nor should we all be. But I'm just talking about the marketing. That when you're out there, cop blocking, or when you're on the Facebook page, there are eyeballs watching you.
You know what? Hey, Derek. You know what I said to Donald. This is what I told him. I said, "There's no way on this earth that you're ever going to make every person happy. They are not going to be happy, and this is what this is about. We're going to run into situations with people where they're not going to approve of it. They're not going to, because our cause and our goal is we're exposing people, we're exposing police that are doing bad. They don't want us to do that. They don't want to be exposed and put in the spotlight. They don't want us to make them transparent.
Yeah, I mean,
you can always be polite, though.
I don't think we're doing it right.
You can always be polite.
Well, their true colors will show when they don't want to be exposed. They'll they'll respond and with vitriol and hatred, but we don't need to do that. And to go back, when there's pictures of pigs with cops' faces, immediately all it takes is one picture like that.
That was me. I made that.
Okay, well, so the point is, when and we can sit around our house and laugh about it, but when the public sees that, they're immediately going to turn away from it, and they're not going to buy in. I'm not trying to say you need to appease everybody.
This is tactics. I mean, is one tactic going to be more effective or less effective?
I don't agree with that.
That's right. Tactics, certain tactics work.
I don't think I'm too vulgar, but we're a watchdog group. I'm not trying to tell other people how to do their shit either. So
we're not just a watchdog group. Some chapters they want to be, they want to put out awareness too of how these police stations are gearing up for a war against the public. Okay, I'm done being nice to any of them. Okay, they dress up. I got my ass beat. I got my ass beat.
Wait a minute.
I got my butt beat.
Mr. Nice Guy.
No. I got my butt beat. I got hit with billy clubs. Shot 3 times with pepper balls. I got pepper bombed 3 times. I got hit in the back of the head with a light post. Billy clubs dragged across the street. Had my bike thrown at me in one night.
And that's horrible. But that's no reason to not be polite.
I'm not gonna be polite when I get hit. Oh, thank you for getting me hit. I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. I have another.
Yeah, let me give you a donut.
Don't let him drag you down to his level and then beat you with experience. Be polite. Keep the moral high ground. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
You can share your thoughts. 413-418-COPS gets you on the air, or send a Skype contact request to Cop Block Radio. What do you think? Polite to pigs?
Free Talk Live.
Hey, this is great stuff. This is good radio.
So much for the camera, Joe, huh?
Thanks, man.
Hey, Derek, what tactic did you use to route that audio into the Skype feed?
What?
Wants to know how to get everybody on so everybody can hear each other.
I moved the Skype voices over to the laptop that is broadcasting to Google Plus, and I routed the audio through my mixer and then back into the laptop via USB. Then I put the Google Plus Hangouts call-in line onto my Skype laptop and disconnected from Skype on that one, leaving Don alone on that laptop. So we're all hanging out on my MacBook, and then Don's all alone over there on the Linux machine.
That's what I'm thinking.
He did something in 3 seconds that would take me a month to try to figure out.
Yeah, I did
That's
have to
fucking genius, Derek. That's genius, dude.
Yeah, it's the wine that helps.
I'm still trying to figure out how to stack my 8-track somewhere.
So I'm gonna go grab some more. You need a drink or anything?
Are you going Keck?
No,
Yeah, man, pass me one.
I'll take a water. I'll take a water.
Okay.
Thanks, hon.
The long break?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna put the ads back on behind us. Okay.
Hey,
Okay.
Donald, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, mister.
Rocks Network.
Oh, okay.
Should I leave the ads off so you guys can talk to each other, or if it's gonna be silent, I'll put the.
I've already talked to him enough today. I don't need to. I'll
Good.
talk to him on air.
I don't need to talk to you anymore, fucker, at all.
More
I've heard
Cop
enough
Block
of your
Radio
shit.
is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio Network, LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Wednesday, December 10th, 2014. Silver is trading at $17.20 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,231 per ounce. And according to BitcoinAverage.com, the average price of Bitcoin is $351. Antimer.com reports in Baghdad's heavily fortified Green Zone, Secretary of Defense Chuck Hagel heard more desperate calls from Iraqi Premier Haider Abadi, who sought further escalation of the U.S. air war and even more shipments of heavy weaponry. Abadi told Hagel his fighters were advancing against the Islamic State, but for bigger gains, they would need support. Hagel described the talks as candid and told Abadi that armed shipments were already being accelerated. It's not clear that Iraqi forces are advancing against the Islamic State in the first place, though officials on both sides are keen to maintain this illusion of progress. Likewise, the Iraqi military was one of the best equipped in the region before summer when they were routed by the Islamic State. As for the airstrikes, the U.S. continues to add warplanes to the region, shifting some from Afghanistan and elsewhere, and are carrying out a huge air war between the Islamic State territory in Syria and Iraq. 3 months of air war hasn't amounted to much change on the ground, and while further escalations are to be expected, there's little reason to expect anything to come out of it beyond the escalations themselves. For over 35 years, Robertson Roberts has been a trusted source for buying and selling your investment-grade precious metals. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and permanently removed the minimum purchase order for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Robertson Roberts today. Advice on investing and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 850-478-5270 or online at rrbi.co. Reuters reports the CIA misled the White House and the public about its torture of detainees after the September 11th attacks and acted more brutally and pervasively than it acknowledged, according to a U.S. Senate report on Tuesday, drawing calls to prosecute American officials. The Senate Intelligence Committee's 5-year review of 6.3 million pages of CIA documents concluded that the intelligence agency failed to disrupt a single plot despite torturing Al-Qaeda and other captives in secret facilities worldwide between 2002 and 2006 when George W. Bush was president. The CIA interrogation program was devised by 2 agency contractors to squeeze information from suspects after the September 11th, 2001 attacks. Some captives were deprived of sleep for up to 180 hours at a time, with their hands shackled above their heads, and the report recorded cases of simulated drowning or waterboarding and sexual abuse, including rectal feedings or rectal rehydration, without any documented medical need. It described one secret CIA prison as a dungeon where detainees were kept in total darkness and shackled in isolated cells, given only a bucket in which to relieve themselves. Bitcoin Not Bombs is a launching pad for nonprofits and social entrepreneurs into the financial freedom of the Bitcoin economy. Bitcoin Not Bombs is fully committed to being the hub.
Now we can.
Dio, can you hear me?
Yep.
What, you don't message me no more? You don't talk to me? You don't say hi?
You told me you didn't want to talk to me no more. I don't know.
I didn't say that.
Whoa.
Yeah, you did.
No, I did not.
Yeah, you did. You said if I'm going to continue to talk to Aaron, that you didn't want to talk to me no more.
About that. About that, but not for good.
Oh.
You're my dog, man.
Who's Aaron? Is he handsome?
I don't know. What?
If I wasn't straight, I'd do him.
Put the sock down and let the little boy go.
Oh, man.
Thailand. Uber said it will hold conversations with
No, Dio, that's not what I
officials in
meant, man.
Thailand. Also, a
I didn't
judge
know.
in Spain ordered
I didn't know.
Uber to
And I
end
really
all
didn't.
operations in the country.
Really
A
didn't have too much
mercantile
to do with
court
it anyway.
judge in Madrid said
Whatever. I want to get to my show notes. Are we going to get to... First of all, I got to finish my story. I got pulled over. I was rudely interrupted, but then I'll finish up that story. Calls came in complaining about a cop block.
I'm sorry, Derek.
It's
I really am.
I'm in control of this show. I can steer it whatever way I want. I missed going back to it. So anyway, we'll return to that. We'll wrap up those loose ends, and then I got a story. We can't have any more cops. The problem is solving itself. The cops don't want to do the job anymore. They're like, it's not going well for them.
Yeah, having a problem.
The headline is. No, the headline, not only in Keene, departments now, quote, having a hard time finding people who want to be police officers, blaming social media. And this is a real story out of Pierce County. I don't know exactly where that is.
People are being like, wow,
California.
I don't want to be an oppressor. Let's do something else.
Yeah.
I know that, like I said, I know Cleveland they put out a call for people to fill out the application and stuff like that.
I feel uncomfortable with robbing people and breaking in their homes and
Yeah,
dressing up like a soldier and shooting them. I don't want to do this job.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, you got to realize that a lot of those cops are former military as well. Most of the guys that were in my unit went on to become cops.
It would be a tough job to be a cop.
Because it's
I
the
think
only job
that
available to
it'd be
us.
great if we could get people like
hold that
us.
thought. This is Cop Block Radio. Welcome back. This is hour number 2. We're live this Wednesday, December 10th, 2014. Joining me in studio is Centurion of Team. We've also got Dio, Liberty Phoenix, Mike, and Don on the line. Hey, everyone.
Hey,
Hi,
what's up, everybody?
God, what a crowded show. No wonder we got so much crosstalk going on. Don, I'm going to kick you off. You've been great. It's been a real pleasure having you. You expressed some thoughts about holding ourselves to a higher standard so as to attract more flies with honey.
Hey, I really appreciate you letting me get my opinion out there, and I'm happy with what you guys are doing. And like you said, let's just hold ourselves accountable. Thank you.
Rock on, man. Yes, let us all be held to the same high standard. So we've just freed up the line. That's 413-418 cops. If you have thoughts about the CIA torture report, police in your area, or anything, 413-418 cops. But I want to turn to a story. First of all, we got to wrap up. I started off talking about how I ran a red light this week. And
you
like
kind
a
of
pimp.
drifted through it, you mean?
yeah, it's not like I was like, oh, there's a red light. I'm going to run through it like 50 miles an hour.
pimping.
I stopped completely. I got tired of waiting, thinking like it's going to start turning green eventually. I started rolling, letting my foot off the brake and just cruising at 2 miles an hour across this light right into the intersection, not knowing at the time that there was a police officer right at perpendicular the light to me. So he was like just watching me coast along. And as I cross the street, woo, the lights go on.
Gangster,
He
dude.
he pulls me over. I roll down the window. I know I got my dash cam on, so I'm thinking, no matter what happens, I'm going to capture this audio and video. It's going to be fine. And he says, you ran a red light right there. And I have enough experience with Cop Block. Then my reply to him is a polite and respectful, I don't answer any questions.
No questions.
And he says, you don't answer any questions. Sort of repeats it back to me, back to himself. I didn't recognize this officer. And for Keene, that's quite a statement. He must be one of the new guys because I know all the officers there. And he was handsome too, so I want to get to know him. We'll see. He says, all right, let me get your license and registration. He takes that, goes back to his cruiser. It's raining a little bit. I'm worried about my registration getting all wet. He comes back in a few minutes and says, all right, well, everything checks out. That was a red light. You did go through it. I don't know if you remember the old traffic pattern or something, and I don't know what he's talking about. There must have been some other, maybe the red light wasn't there before. But he's like, but there's a red light there now, and you have to stop at red lights. But I'm going to let you go with a warning, just to let you know in the future, when you come to a red light, you have to stop.
He definitely didn't know you. Definitely didn't know you.
No. And
yeah, it was the old traffic pattern. That's what it was. Yeah.
I didn't say a thing, Dio. And I think it was the right thing to do to not answer the question, because at that point I would have admitted some guilt or something, and then he might have been more inclined to give me a ticket or something. But I feel good about it. And I want to commend this officer because he used his discretion. He exercised discretion, which is something we talk a lot about on the show, that police have this thing called discretion where they don't have to enforce every law. They see a law being broken. Maybe you're smoking a joint on your stoop and a police officer walks by and can smell that skunk clear as day. He doesn't have to arrest you for it. You can just be like, I'm going to pretend I don't smell that. You have a nice day. And
you have 2 white ones there, I see.
Yeah, I got a couple of love letters from the police this week. But yeah, this one was for speeding. But they can exercise discretion. they can say, you know, yeah, you went through a red light, but I'm not going to give you a ticket for that because you weren't really hurting anyone. It's not the way that it was intended. I think the running a red light violation was intended for people who were like cruising through, music blasting, eating fries, and not paying any attention to the road around them, endangering people. Not people who are like, come on, this light won't change. There's nobody coming. Let's just cross already. So I want to commend an officer who exercised his discretion. Good on him. We talk a lot about bad behavior by police. Well, this is good behavior by police.
You know, we talk about jury nullification. I would love to see some officers that actually want to do good in the world use some officer nullification, start nullifying bad laws by not enforcing them.
That's a great idea.
Officer nullification.
Good campaign.
That's a good campaign.
So now I want to turn, if we don't have any other thoughts on that, or no one else was arrested or ticketed this week, I want to talk about police departments around the country are beginning to complain that widespread criticism of the institution of law enforcement is making it harder for them to find people who want to work as police officers. The recent events in Ferguson, they say, are partly to blame for the backlash against police, but many of us know that Ferguson is only the tip of the iceberg. Underneath the surface, there are thousands of other cases of beating, raping, and killing, all committed by an institution that is supposedly here to protect us. The widespread exposure and criticism of this institution is becoming so popular that law enforcers in the Seattle metro area are complaining that it's hard for them to find new applicants. You know, this has been my experience all this week, and I don't know if it's just because I've got my cop block lenses on or if it's really the beginning of some new chapter of history where people seem to be sharing these stories of police abuse, a man tased, unarmed, you know, hadn't hurt anyone, a man beaten, the police not convicted, found not guilty. You know, is it just my imagination, or are there more of these stories circulating than normal?
I was talking to a Pembroke. I was talking.
A one-year investigation by the Justice Department into the Cleveland Police Department found off-duty officers pistol whipped suspects, assaulted a juvenile in the back of a squad car, abused the mentally ill, were reckless with tasers, and fired their weapons when they didn't have to. So, no, I don't think it's your imagination whatsoever.
I talked to a Pembroke, New Hampshire police officer, new police officer, and he said he had pretty much everywhere. He could go anywhere, basically. And I said, why did you pick here? And how come you didn't go to a city like Keene? He goes, there's no way I'm ever going to Keene to be a police officer. And I said, why? He says, because there's just too many cameras there. I'm like, well, if there's cameras there, why would you not want to be there? Meaning that he's got some hidden agenda. But he goes, well, there's nobody at the academy that wants to work there. And I'm like, why? He goes, there's just too many activists. So they're afraid. They're afraid.
These officers are caught between a rock and a hard place as well, because they have a certain set of standards that, you know, a certain leeway that they have to go through. I mean, to look at it from their perspective, they have to. They're still in this mindset where their authority is legitimate. So looking at it from that perspective, they have to abide by a certain set of standards from their department. They have to write a certain amount of tickets. They have to do all this stuff. And when you're under the eye and scrutiny directly of the citizenry and those that you claim to have an ownership over, you tend to get more fidgety. And it really, as far as looking at it from a statist perspective, it would make them do their job less effectively because they'd be more on edge. Because with everything going on, they're more scared. And they don't realize that they are victims of this system just as much as all of us are. If all of us would start looking at the police as victims as well, then I really think it would change the way that everybody interacts with the police. I mean, yes, they are violent thugs, but they know not what they do.
They made a decision to choose that. It's thug by choice, really.
You're absolutely right. It is their decision.
They made a personal responsibility.
It's reinforced by a society that reinforces negative behavior.
I don't think that. I mean, I could say, you know, if murder was, you know, I could say the same thing with being a civilian, but I don't think that's all true. I don't believe that. I think they're making a conscious decision personal responsibility lets them know they're doing the wrong thing when they're busting down a house. They know they're doing something wrong.
Authority gives the perspective.
Why do you think they grow old in 5 years?
You don't understand authority because authority makes people hypocrites. It literally does.
Hold that thought, Liberty Phoenix. We've got more to this discussion.
False sense of authority.
What do you think? How should we interact with police? Plus, why are police departments having a hard time filling the ranks?
Shiny badges.
Jeez, man.
I think they're having a hard time filling the ranks because it's kind of like the NFL draft, right? Nobody wants to be drafted by the last place team. Nobody wants to be a Brown. You know what I mean? Nobody wants to be a Detroit Lion. You know, it's like they got to take what they can get in order to get into the league. You know what I mean? But they don't want to be. Nobody wants to be a cop in L.A. Nobody wants to be a cop in New York. Nobody wants to be a cop in Cleveland. Nobody wants to be a cop in Detroit. Right?
What do you mean? That's breeding ground psychopaths.
Hey, LP.
That's what I'm saying. The guys who would have the good intentions don't want to play for the shit teams. And that's the only place they can get hired.
Special request while we're on a break. Audio request. LP, please back off of your mic. Mike, please get closer to your mic.
Me, Mike?
Correct.
Okay, I mean, man, I'm actually not trying to talk too loud at all.
It's not about volume, it's about your proximity to your microphone. So if you can get closer to it.
Am I coming through pretty clear now or what?
Yes, that sounds slightly better.
Good.
The closer you are.
I gotta say this, dude. We just now, right in the middle of this radio show, just hit 600 likes. I am stoked.
Cool. Congratulations.
600 likes. I know that isn't a lot to a lot of pages, but
it's a nice round number.
We started this in October 6th, and man, for our area and our community, it's really,
that is positive. Hey, caller from the 602 area code. We are not live on LRN.FM, but we are live on YouTube. We're on a short break at the moment. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Caller from the 602 area code. Can you hear us?
What's up, cop suckers?
Hello.
Hello. You asked a question about torture and Eric Gardner I'd like to respond to as well.
Sure. Do you want to do that when we're on air?
That's why I called in.
Okay. Please hold your thoughts.
I didn't call in to agree with any of you, by the way, fair warning.
I'm so glad that you love your fellow Americans.
I know you're a bunch of cop blockers. I mean, suckers.
He just fell into the ditch, didn't he?
I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to put him on mute. I'm going to mute him.
The ditch is your brain cells. Okay. The ditch you refer to is the space between your two ears.
I'll match wits with you any day, brother.
Okay,
don't make fun of me, Boston motherfucker.
Please,
Boston. I'm actually from New York. And
it's all the same foul. It's all the same foul language to me.
Okay.
I didn't grow up in New York, but my parents are from there, and they didn't talk like that.
You came here to bully people, so
let's treat our callers.
No, I came to talk tough to tough fucking fuckers like you. What is your name again? For real?
You sound like you're stuttering.
What's your real name? What's your real name?
Centurion.
What's your real name?
We're all
Evan, what did your mommy and daddy call you? I don't believe your mommy and daddy called you Centurion.
All right. Everybody, back to your corners.
So call the Tort Attorneys right now. 800-708-7917. 800-708-7917. 800-708-7917. 800-708-7917. Cases may be referred to participating law firms in your jurisdiction. What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
It's Cop Block Radio. We're live. You can call in and share your stories. 413-418 cops gets you on the air like our next guest. Caller from the 602 area code. What's your name and where are you calling from?
James.
Hi, James. Long time. No.
Why did you ask?
Just so that the audience could hear it from you. So
Why didn't
how are you
straight out and say
tonight?
it?
How are you?
Why didn't you just come straight out and say, "Hi, James from Arizona"?
All right, I could have done that. I thought it would be better coming from you. Just an artistic choice.
Okay, whatever. I asked you a question that's not an answer, but I'll take it from as such. Anyway, the great rallying cry of the last couple, the last like 4 months in the United States of America has been hands up, don't shoot. So I'd like to do a poll test of you cop suckers. How many of you believe that Eric Gardner would still be alive today if he had just put his hands up and said, don't
He did
shoot?
put his hands up.
I don't
I asked
have
you a question, Jerry. He didn't put his hands up. He said, don't touch me.
He did put his hands up.
You're talking to
He
Dio.
said, don't touch me.
He put his hands up.
He said,
He put
don't
his hands
touch
up
me. You're
and
not
said,
going to
"Don't
do this
touch me." He
today,
put his
right?
hands up.
Wait a minute. None of us have evidence of that. All of it is an allegation at this point. We don't have video.
What is
to
an
confirm.
allegation?
An allegation is a claim made without evidence. We don't have evidence.
He's going to question.
No,
pretty
wait.
much everything
We're
you
talking
said
about Eric
instead of
here.
going back to
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Oh, Eric Gardner. Excuse
Yeah,
me.
he's talking
Okay.
about Eric Garner.
Yeah,
Garner-
okay, excuse
Eric
me.
Garner put his hands up and said, "Don't touch me," and then the guy jumped on his back.
Right. I've never said to a cop, don't touch me when I knew I was under arrest for a crime. I've never done that.
You're a
But
dumbass.
how many of you believe? How many of you believe that he would still be alive today if he put his hands up and said, "Don't
He
shoot"?
did put his hands up.
That's irrelevant, James.
You're not answering the question.
Wait,
no, he did.
he put his
resisted
hands
arrest.
up
He
and
did
said,
put his
"Don't
hands-
shoot."
We answered it. We answered your question. You gonna
Okay, whatever.
You gonna keep asking questions when they've
Is
been
that Liberty
answered?
Phoenix?
No, that's Mike.
Who is
He's sort
that?
of a new host.
Forgive me, Derek J. It's hard to chime in here when nobody will answer a simple question.
Well, I think your question
And
has
you-
been answered.
They're asking you, and in the middle
Well,
of
then
their
I'll go to
answer,
the
you
next
keep cutting
one.
them off because
I'll go to the next allegation, Derek J. Because in the court of law, the reason why you didn't even go to a court of law and the grand jury didn't charge the officers is because he didn't put up his hands and said, "Don't shoot," and he did resist arrest. And forgive the cops; they did kill the kid or the guy. They didn't commit murder because they didn't get away with murder. Because if I were to murder you, Derek J., it would have to be intentional. There's a big difference between what you constantly.
Wow.
What do you call it when you cut off somebody's
Wow.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Okay,
I
so
know none of
James
you
is-
guys care. Isn't this mockery hilarious, by the way, Derek J? None of you want to talk about the truth.
Hold
You just want to smear.
hold your thoughts for a minute because you're making a good point.
I know I am. I always do, Derek J.
Okay, congratulations. You're muted. Now, Eric Garner did resist arrest. The police officer who arrested him did not intend to kill him. Do we all agree?
No.
No.
I'm not gonna say I
the
agree.
anger and frustration
someone-
that I saw in that video, they
don't
were trying to
agree
kill.
Someone among us, who is it? Mike, you think that the police
Yeah, do you
officer...
remember my story last week? I told you about the big guy that I had a confrontation with when I was I was 18 years old, and
Yeah, we remember. But the important part here is intention.
Yeah.
James in Arizona is making the point that the police officer who eventually did kill Eric Garner didn't murder him. He killed him, but didn't murder him because the intention wasn't there to end his life. Am I summarizing your point accurately, James?
that police officer made a choice. Period.
There.
Oh, Jesus. Am I back on?
Yes,
off
you
mute?
are unmuted.
For once, I can applaud you, Derek J. Well, it's not for the first time. I shouldn't say that. You did accurately surmise exactly what I am talking about. But I should like to ask Mike, that big guy, whoever he was, or wherever he did to you, that was, I guess, in a uniform when you were 18 years old, because I'm assuming you're not 18 anymore. Was he that guy that tried to arrest Eric Gardner on the corner for, I'm not talking about what Eric Gardner did, whether what he did was right or wrong. because I'm not here to support or defend a law.
I'm
No, I'm going to ask you a very simple question.
You're asking me a question. I'm going to give you a
Is it the
response
same
right
guy?
now. First
It's
off,
the same guy. No, the answer is no. You don't need to respond to it. The answer is no.
Let him answer his question, sir.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
Centurion, you would say no. Just say no. That's what you would say if you were an honest debater.
Okay, I mean,
They're not.
Yeah, but he's asked a question. You keep cutting people off when they try to answer you. That's childish. Just let him answer the question.
I'll just be quiet.
Who said that was childish? Centurion?
Not letting somebody answer a question after you ask him a direct question and you cut him off in the middle of his answer.
I'm not cutting him off. The answer's no.
You keep stopping him.
The answer's no. He doesn't even have to talk.
All right, Centurion is muted. Go ahead.
Okay, great. The answer to your question, sir,
you are bad.
Is that the person who was involved in the choking was not a police officer? Now Dio's going to interrupt me. Come on, man.
I want to be muted too.
All right.
Yeah, mute his ass too.
All right, you guys all made your point.
The guy was not a police officer. This was somebody who I was choking, okay, at 18, who was triple the body weight, he towered me by at least 2 feet. And the situation was, and that I explained last week, is that I had enough sense to know that I was choking this man. He had snot coming from his face.
And you didn't kill him. That's the point.
And I didn't kill him.
Thank
I let
you.
go. I let go of the man.
So now,
because I knew
what's the point?
if I kept choking him, it was all over.
Yes, we got that. Now, James in Arizona, what was the point of asking if this officer was the same person?
The point is, he brought it up, and it has absolutely nothing on God's green earth to do with the situation I brought up with Eric Gardner. Absolutely nothing. But the analogy he's attempting to make about he knew that he could kill the guy, that he was doing something else to that guy that the cops were doing to Eric. Okay, we're all here. We all can agree what happened to Eric is a tragedy.
Right.
All of us at least can agree with that. And may he rest in peace. And he wasn't killed because the cops were a bunch of racist redneck I can say motherfucker on this show, right?
You can, yeah.
I wish we could all agree. I wish we could all agree about that, but we don't, because I know there's certain confirmation biases.
If the cop would have let go, the man would have survived.
Hey, but
I agree
he
with
didn't
you.
know he had
Just as
asthma.
it would have never happened, Mike. Just as my original point is, it would have never happened if he had not resisted arrest and put it again. The rallying cry was already worldwide known. Hands up, don't shoot. If Eric had just done that, he'd still be alive today, wouldn't he, Centurion?
He was
All right,
giving
we'll
up
leave
from
it
the
at that.
get-go.
I
The guy was
appreciate-
giving up from the get-go.
I appreciate the
I
call,
should like to
James.
defend torture if you want to be entertained. If you want to have your audience think a second time about another subject, Derek J.
We're probably not going to get to torture today, but call in tomorrow. We'll be
Really?
talking about. I know we'll be talking about it on Peace News. It's more of a Peace
You
News.
know
thing
I
than a
always
cop
call
block thing.
in. Why are you blocking my number?
I'll
Sasha?
unblock it. I'll unblock it for tomorrow.
You got it, and don't ask next time.
Give you your bottle.
Free press
Oh my
Do you see
God.
why you ignore trolls, man? Do you
Wow.
see? Do you see what happens when you don't ignore trolls?
Oh man,
I got censored.
He's been sorry about that. You
You
were
are
screaming in my
banishing.
ear.
You cannot speak.
There were too many voices.
I enjoyed that, Derek. That was a lot of fun.
Thank you.
me.
I enjoyed that too. Mike, I still need more volume from you. So please
Man,
get
I don't
closer.
know what to do here, buddy. I
Talk
don't know
closer.
where my mic is. That's the problem.
Your microphone, it's probably
Yeah, on my computer. It's on the laptop. I don't know where the fucking thing is, man.
All right.
I don't.
Just be
I
close.
honestly
Just
don't
be
know
close
where
to
it
your
is.
laptop. That's the best you can
It's a
do.
capsule
Top left corner.
somewhere
It's
on
all
the
right.
laptop. I
It's-
do not
It's
know
all right.
where it is.
It's not a big deal.
Stop playing with yourself, Kent.
I'm gonna have to get a microscope out to try to find this fucking thing. Okay.
Actually, let's talk about that because we've been doing Cop Block Radio for a few weeks now. Everyone's been good
Yeah.
content-wise. We could do a little better audio equipment-wise.
Balls are gonna shrink. I'm drinking Keen water.
Sorry about that. So let's get some microphones. Let's everybody who's going to be a host have a microphone.
I just learned that
Okay,
you can
hey,
use
Derek,
Turtle
let me
Beach's-
ask you this real quick. Can I get a simple mic, like USB to mic? Would that be like a headphone
I was
set?
just about
Would that help?
to tell you, you can use Turtle Beaches for this, and they work amazing.
So just a USB
Yeah.
to a headphone set
Yeah,
with a mic.
The Turtle Beaches, they're made for the PS2,
No,
Xbox
man.
One, and Xbox 360. They work awesome.
No, that might be, but you should listen to me because I'm the one who's going to put you on the air.
You said cheap.
All right,
This
I'm
is-
listening. I'm listening, Derek. I'm all in.
Right now, I'm doing a screen share for a blog post at freedomfiends.com. It's called "Get the Great Inexpensive Mic Our Co-Hosts Use," and this is a microphone that is used by people who broadcast a real radio show across terrestrial radio 7 nights a week, and it is the Audio Technica AT 2005 USB cardioid dynamic mic. It is
How much-
incredibly good. It is
How much damage is that?
$55.
$55.
That's a lot of damage.
That's some damage.
You'll also need a foam windscreen for the mic. That's about 50 cents, and a pair of headphones. That will make you sound as good as it can get.
Like the president.
That will make you sound very good.
Turtle Beaches comes with a mic and headset combined for $37.
Yeah, but
30
those pick up a lot of your breath, and when you exhale, it picks that up.
Oh no, mine doesn't do that.
Anyway, I just want this show to sound really good because people
Sure.
will listen more when things sound good.
I agree, man. I do.
Maybe I'll try to. Let me talk to Pete. Maybe I can get a front or something.
Derek, I just bought a
Yeah.
mic stand. It took me a week and a half to figure
Man.
out how to lock the swivel.
I'm louder.
Yeah.
Hey Dio, did you see the
Thank
did you
you.
see the stickers,
We
man?
traded mics
What?
during the show.
Did you see the
Check, check.
stickers?
No.
Well,
Probably just screaming. Oh, we're getting. a
they
call.
were
I will check them now.
This is the Onion News Network.
Check.
Message me that
You
shit
enjoy
later.
LRN.FM.
1, 2,
Hey, this
1.
is John again. I had something to say about that last caller and all this. If you would let me
Yeah.
have a little bit of time.
Yeah, hold your thought. This is Top Block Radio. Welcome back. We are live. We're taking your calls 413-418-TOP or send a Skype contact request to Top Block Radio. I will add you to the smorgasbord of co-hosts that we have tonight, which include
Centurion.
and the rest. Go ahead and
Dio.
spit your names.
Dio here from Cleveland.
Liberty Phoenix calling in from the occupied states of Illinois.
This is Mike from Lima, Allen County, Cop Block.
And on the phone, we have Don, who's back because he was a little bit peeved about our previous caller. Go ahead and share your thoughts.
I wanted to give an example. This is a real thing that happened, and Mike was with me, actually. It kind of goes to the point of the last caller. I pulled through an OVI checkpoint. The police officer asked me, would you like to take some field sobriety tests? I said no. He asked me a second time. I said no. Mike jumped out of the car, said, he's already given you an answer. Quit asking him the same thing. I said, Mike, get back in the car. Police officer said, I will arrest you for obstruction if you don't listen to your friend. He got in the car. Police officer asked me a third time, will you take these tests? I said, I'm not comfortable taking them. He said, I have to put you under arrest. I said, that's fine. I put my hands behind my back and he cuffed me. I didn't get choked. I didn't get thrown at the ground. So I think the last caller had a valid point. If you comply, generally, you're not going to have a problem.
So your
agree with that.
argument is comply or die?
Hey, wait a minute. That is the argument. Did you see Derek J's victimless crime spree? I didn't comply with that Officer Moore's orders to stop, and he nearly killed me. I was in an Eric Gardner situation. I was choking. I couldn't breathe. My last words were, I can't breathe. I can't
You're being
breathe.
sexually assaulted.
And finally, he did let up as surrounding activists appeared with video cameras. And I fortunately don't suffer from asthma, and I'm not 350 pounds, so I made it. But Eric Garner wasn't so fortunate. Maybe he would have been if he had been more compliant. I'm not saying he resisted, but he could have been more compliant.
Nobody in Cop Block is saying to resist, definitely. That's not part of the, as a matter of fact, part of the thing is don't resist, you know. So that's not what anybody's saying here. It's just that, you know, like, I mean, especially you have to consider, there's another point to consider is that, and, you know, far be it from me to make it about race or anything like that, but, you know, black people in general, they don't know that if they just comply, they won't die. You know what I mean? It's part of where they've grown up and stuff, like some of them where
how do you make that claim?
You know what, man? This is my opinion. My opinion on this. Eric Garner did not resist arrest. He did not resist arrest.
I don't think he did.
Right in the video. It is in the video. And this is a problem with people, is that they look at a video and no matter what evidence is there right between their two eyes, they still will find something.
Wait a minute, Mike. Didn't he swat the cop off when he tried to arrest him?
He sure did.
Okay, well, what do you call that?
I didn't see that.
Gentlemen, in the eyes of the law, which is not legitimate, that is considered resisting arrest.
Okay, well, yeah, I think it was pretty clear from the video, which I saw too with my own eyes.
Well, I guess all of you guys have bought into it then.
I haven't bought into anything, man. I've resisted arrest 3 times and been charged with it, and I stand behind those resisting. But, you know, I saw a man who wasn't as compliant as he could have been. He starts off by sort of swatting the cops away. He says before the cops go to arrest him, man, this ends today. It sounds like he wasn't going to go down without a fight.
Well, you know what, Derek? Correct. The only thing that I can say that Derek Garner did that was a mistake in his situation involving these, involving the police officers was that he got loud, he got a little obnoxious, and I don't know if he would have calmed down, if the situation would have been different. Nobody knows that, but I know that he did get loud, and he was saying, I haven't sold nothing. I haven't done nothing, you know, and it could have been his actions that, I'm not going to say that was what caused it, but going back to what I had said last week, when you have your arm around somebody and they are in a chokehold, and you have them in a chokehold, and that
Mike, what if that guy would have had a medical condition? You would have killed him.
Release that chokehold, and you have threatened their life to an ultimate extreme.
Yeah, same thing.
You would have killed that guy, Mike, if he'd had a medical condition. I'm sorry, dude.
Yeah. You. What about you, Mike? If you had killed that guy because he had asthma or was 350 pounds or whatever.
So, Mike, do you remember
enough to know that?
Mike, do you remember when we got rolled at that OVI checkpoint? Do you remember when I
don't know that they could know
complied? I did not give up my rights. All I did was politely deny to do the test he said. I put my hands behind my back, and he cuffed me, and they took me to the police station. Okay? And so I didn't get choked. If I would have brushed his arm away from me, I would have got thrown to the ground. I probably would have got a bloody face out of the deal.
Yeah, there's a time and a place to resist, and sometimes it's on the spot, sometimes it's in the courtroom.
I was guilty, and I accepted the guilt.
I think you did everything right, Don. Everything. In that situation, you did everything right.
Don, what was your crime?
My crime was drinking and driving, operating a vehicle intoxicated.
Who did you injure?
I did. Now, that's the big problem I have, that I did roll up on an OBI checkpoint, which is unconstitutional in my opinion, and I think in the Constitution's opinion.
You didn't commit any crime. There was no victim. The only victim there was yourself, because you were drunk. You put your own life in jeopardy, okay? And
I put Mike's life in jeopardy as well.
Well, and the lives of those on the road.
Yourself in jeopardy. Okay, but you didn't harm anyone else, which means that you weren't guilty of anything. The fact that you
it was a victimless crime. I committed a victimless crime, at least victimless up to the point of me getting pulled over. Now, who knows what could have happened, but that's the Minority Report. You know, that's what that movie was about. We're going to bust people for what they may do. So, yes, OVI checkpoints are wrong. But my point is, if you comply, you will not have a problem. I've been pulled over probably 8 to 10 times in my life. Every time, I held my constitutional rights, but I also complied.
Yeah, but there was also a time in 1934 where people complied and they were all murdered.
I can see
This isn't 1934 though.
I can see where some people say, yeah, if we don't resist, we're legitimizing their authority. I can see in some situations, like I know an activist here that wants to shoot cops if they show up at the house. Me, I don't think that's a good idea.
Are you
because
kidding me?
He shoots
Who? I don't. What?
Cantwell.
He doesn't. No way. Cops have been to his house and shot at them.
If they come in illegally and knock down his door, he said he will shoot them.
All right. Well, I want to be clear that I don't want to hang out or support anyone who feels that way.
But I don't know if he feels that now, but that's something he said in the past. But anyways, I don't think that's a good idea to use a handgun against, 15 guys with automatic rifles. It's not going to end up well.
It's a decision of tactics, gentlemen. We want to change the world peacefully, or do we want to cite a third world war and a second American Revolution? I don't think a second American Revolution will turn out very good for the peace movement, for the liberty movement. Okay, the federal government has more guns than they know what to do with. All right, we cannot win in a violent uprising against the state. It's not it's not even an option.
The
They got flamethrowers, and we don't have flamethrowers.
The tactic
I
they
don't
have
agree
here
with
in New
that at
Hampshire.
all.
The tactic,
I'm sorry. I don't agree with that.
The tactic they have here in New Hampshire is great, to collectivize a huge amount of activists to turn the tide, and it's working in Keene. It is working here.
Hey, there's plenty of cool things that are working. It's going to happen one mind at a time. One mind has changed. And, this problem of not being able to replace the police, that's a good problem to have. Maybe that's part of the way things are changing. Maybe police just will disappear. We won't need them anymore.
Officer nullification.
Gabino lives in Palpapata, Peru. He buys
Yeah, I like that
appliances
officer
like
nullification.
irons,
That'd be good.
radios, and TV sets, fixes them up, and resells.
All right, one segment left, and I want to share a story about University of South Carolina students who were being arrested for chalking on their campus when another student took photographs of the arrest, and the officers let them go.
What were they doing on the campus?
Chalking.
What does that mean?
Writing on the sidewalk. Chalk.
Oh, chalking. Oh, I gotcha.
People don't often bring up the fact there were no police before 1850, writes Nathan. He is in the chat room here. By that point, nitrous oxide had been discovered for dental anesthesia. What does that have anything to do with anything?
And whippets.
My girls sidewalk chalk everything in the summertime. It is crazy. Everywhere that we have lived, they have absolutely turned the pavement into a
I hopscotched in your driveway to what your girls chalked.
Yeah,
they might just make a hate group if you do it here and just
they
make
love
a whole
art.
webpage.
You're not allowed to hopscotch in New Hampshire or South Carolina.
My
Don,
my
did you-
9-year-old has turned into an amazing artist. She is really
Yeah, I've seen that on your website.
There's a guy that does it in New York City who's really good down by Wall Street.
Don, did you get your point out?
Sidewalk chalk,
Yeah. I'll let you guys go. I'll just listen off air. Thanks for
All
letting
right.
me talk again.
Thank you, Don.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
Yes.
Cheers.
Bye.
Yep. So we've opened up the call-in line just in case any more trolls want to jump on.
Hey, Derek, I don't know if you got this message. I watched your movie, man. Derek's Victimless Crime Spree.
Yeah, man. Thanks.
Awesome, man.
How'd you get a hold of that, man?
Jeez, it was great, dude. I didn't even know.
How'd you get a hold of that, man?
I don't know. I came across it.
Yeah, well, it's so expensive. It's a real.
I sent him a copy,
commodity.
Derek.
Oh, okay, cool.
I have like 3 copies.
Oh, wait, you actually sent a physical DVD?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so I was just joking.
I have a physical DVD.
That's
as well.
cool, man. Thanks. I love when people have the DVD. That means it's for real. People who watch on YouTube, it's cool. I'm happy that they like it. But people who have the DVD, it's like, boom. That's
Hey,
serious.
I do have a question. I'm just I'm curious about this now. When you were released in New Hampshire, did you actually leave New Hampshire altogether?
Get the fuck out of here, you betcha.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
It's like,
that's what I thought, man.
Been nice, guys. See ya.
So you just took off. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
He came back.
I hit the road. Yeah, I came back as soon as my suspended sentence was over.
There you go, man. There you go.
I don't need that. I don't need that noise. They were gonna lock me up. I could still be in jail right now. If I had,
Well, you know what I have to respect, man, is every single interaction that you had with the police. I mean, you were as polite as I could not be that polite, man.
Thank you. My
I wish I could. But
My
there's just
grandfather
no
was
way.
a state trooper, and his advice to me was always stay calm, be polite. That's always his advice. So I think that's good
and
advice.
I've tried that, and usually in those
You can watch the-
circumstances, when I have been,
Yeah,
it's usually worked out better
Yeah.
in my favor.
I agree.
But
Hold
if
that
you-
thought. We're coming back. Welcome back. This is Cop Block Radio. It's our final segment of the evening. Boy, it's been great chatting with you. And with you tonight, it's been Centurion, Dio, Mike. John is no longer with us, which means we freed up the call-in line, 413-418-COPS. We also have special co-host Liberty Phoenix joining us this episode. It's been fun having him. He uses a professional microphone, and I appreciate that. Thank you, Liberty Phoenix.
My pleasure. You always want
Way to brown nose there, Liberty.
So I wanted to finish up a story that I started in the last hour about how police are having a hard time filling the departments. People don't want to take the jobs anymore, and they're blaming social media, but they're wrong about that. It's their own abusive actions that are causing the problem. That is the police.
We have the chalking.
Yeah. Like I said, nobody wants to play for the Browns. Nobody wants to play for the Lions. It's
true.
You know, they don't want to get the jobs in the harder places it is to work.
One author at filmingcops.com writes, "The skepticism of police officers is a problem for the institution of law enforcement in the same sense that skepticism, say, of 19th century plantation overseers became a problem for the institution of slavery. The reality is that police are individuals, and individuals are responsible for their actions. Individuals who willingly coerce, extort, and initiate violence upon peaceful people in order to maintain a monopolistic rule of corrupt politicians are naturally going to be distrusted. They are responsible for what they do, not social media. Social media is merely a new mechanism to display their actions in front of a larger audience." I agree with that. I think that's exactly what's happening. All of these stories that are finally being shared of police abuse, and oh my gosh, another video of a cop tasing or beating an unarmed man. We're seeing this because of social media and because of video, not because it's a new phenomenon in police work.
Social media is a medium whereby the society can take whatever major, things that are going on within all of the culture, and they can push it to a forefront. Like if everybody wanted to know what, Queen Latifah's latest shoe line was, that's what would be out there and in the forefront of social media, but they don't. Right now, people want the military industrial complex to keep its fingers off of our public servants, off of our peacekeepers, off of our protectors, because there is a position in a peaceful, free society for police to exist, but they've been so inundated with, this local warrior cop mentality.
Yeah.
That
I think
it's a terrifying thing.
I think it's kind of like history, right? Everybody learns history in a certain way, and it glorifies like America and stuff like that, right? But then you grow up and you start to learn the real history and how things really happen and stuff like that. People like, especially people who have been joining police academies all this time throughout the years, it's like they have this image of the police growing up, and now they're starting to see what the real image is. And it's like, oh man, I didn't want to do that.
Yeah, and then once they're in there, then it's like, well, hey, I'm earning this nice paycheck, and I got a gun, and I can, I got a badge and uniform. I could do whatever I want to do. So, I've even often asked myself this question: what would I have done? In 20 years, if my life would have been different, any of us right here could have been police officers. We don't know.
Would have been. I mean, I was completely oblivious to the ideas of liberty while I was in the Marine Corps. If I would have never watched the Zeitgeist and had never waken up and moved on to Alex Jones and then moved on to LRN and actually, came to the ideas of voluntarism, I could totally have. I did support the killing of babies thousands of miles away and locally. I supported that.
And was it social media that changed your mind, or was it the actions of police officers?
What really changed my mind was seeing how fractional reserve banking is done, and seeing the hand behind the curtain.
Okay. Well,
realizing you're playing a rigged game is like, fuck, what happened? I could have been cheating all this time.
The author here concludes, as more Americans remove the scales from their eyes and see that the institution of law enforcement was created relatively recently, for most of human history, we survived just fine without it, and only for the purpose of maintaining a corrupt political order, departments will have a harder time finding any applicants. Few people want to be a part of something like that. Old institutions wither away as new generations create organic and more innovative alternatives. The state-controlled monopolistic institution of policing is no exception. That's it.
Yeah, man. I mean, like I said, the Justice Department just did a probe on Cleveland police, found like 900 incidents. I mean, that stuff gets out. It's public.
Here's the next one. I want to make sure we have time for this. University cops release handcuffed students after realizing they're being photographed. Carlos Miller. Carlos Miller reports at photographyisnotacrime.com. Doing a bit of a screen share here so you can see the photograph. You can see there's some chalking on the ground, 3 students with their hands behind their backs, cuffed, and 1 officer doing the cuffing with a school illuminated in the background. The article reads, University police in South Carolina handcuffed 3 students Monday for using chalk to write protest messages on a sidewalk regarding the Ferguson non-indictment, seizing the chalk as evidence while accusing them of causing $1,000 in damage. But the Coastal Carolina University cops released the students when they realized that another student was taking photos of the arrest. According to Myrtle Beach Online, quote, he said, officers didn't initially identify themselves as police Monday night when they stopped him, his roommate, and another friend. Wright said they asked him what they were doing, and they told them they were drawing. The senior said he had just finished writing the word justice when he was told to stand up and put his hands behind his back.
Wow.
When he asked why, Wright said the officer told him not to resist. He said his friends also requested answers, but didn't receive any. It was like some sort of game, he said. They were like puppies, excited to get out of the cage and get to do something. Wright said that the three were released only after another student saw what was happening and began taking photos of the incident. The tone completely changed, he said. It wasn't much of a game anymore. You had a thought to add, Liberty Phoenix?
Yeah, accountability works. This private security consultant didn't want to be portrayed as a sociopath or psychopath. That individual probably has a chance of joining the Liberty movement because he already knows that his actions were wrong, which means he is critically thinking, he is self-analyzing.
I just thought that was a terrific story. It really shows that you have the power to change a situation, and simply by being an observer, by bearing witness, you can change the outcome of a situation.
We should have had Kelly Patterson on here to talk about chalking stories. Him out in Las Vegas, he got plenty of experience with that. They tried to arrest him on that stuff too. They ended up dropping the charges after a whole big long thing and whatnot.
Interesting.
The sun.
I'm still hung up on
sunset,
$1,000 worth of
four,
damage.
something they called it. Yeah, it was like 4 of them out there.
I'm still trying to figure out how this $1,000 worth of damage from chalk with one rainfall would do for free.
Yeah. That's the same argument they used in Las Vegas as well. They were trying to say it was like worth $1,500. I was like, I made a little video for them in Las Vegas, and I told them, I said I showed myself like cleaning the chalk off with water. I was like, I'll do it for $500.
Well, let's get some redemption here. We got to wrap up. This has been Cop Block Radio. I want to thank all my co-hosts tonight.
You're
It's
welcome.
been a great episode. Thanks to everyone who called
Thanks,
in.
Dio.
James in
Cop
Arizona.
Block
and
store
Don.
is open.
The Cop Block store is open. Tell us more, Dio. Where can we find it?
It's on copblock.org/store. There's new products available as we speak.
Very cool. Head on over there now. We'll catch you next Wednesday, 10 to midnight Eastern. Until then, remember that badges don't grant extra rights.
Peace.
Excuse me, is this where I get a license to start a new business?
I wouldn't
Yeah,
be
rock on, everybody. Good job.
Oh, well, look, I've invented
Good
this land like
job. And boom.
Hey, Derek, I've got some special content for the YouTube audience.
Okay, we're still live on YouTube. Go ahead.
It's pretty much just a moment of recognition.
A moment of recognition.
It's on Community Evolve.
Okay, go
And
ahead.
It's a list of, well, I've got quite an extensive list. I'd like to read off the first 10.
Your audio is going in and out. Why?
Probably my internet connection.
No.
Mixer looks good. The compressor's good.
Are you like? Are you keeping your voice? Are you keeping your mouth stationary?
Starship Enterprise.
Is this better?
Yes, sounds better.
It's essentially it's a moment of recognition. It's a list of 35 individuals that were murdered by police. I'd like to read off the first 10 names if you allow.
Go ahead.
The first one, Kelly Thomas, died July 5th, 2011. No charges filed. Number 2, Lumian Brisbane, December 2nd, 2014. No charges filed. Darian Hunt, September 10th, 2014. No charges filed. Otto Zem, March 8th, 2006. No charges filed. Paul Shenick, July 31st, 2013. No charges filed. Eric Gardner, no charges filed. Kai Gurley, November 20th, 2014. No charges filed. Jose Caldaza, October 21st, 2014. No charges filed. Buncam Fonsavan, Flashbangs, Face. No charges filed. Oscar Grant, January 1st, 2009. Officer was convicted of involuntary manslaughter, acquitted of all charges. And that goes on and on and on.
Where can
Just like-
people find that list?
What's that, Derek?
Where can people find that list?
This is just a list that I've compiled. You can find it in my notebook.
I thought you have a website.
I do. It's at unityevolved.com. This isn't up there. Idea.
Okay. Well, any other thoughts before we leave our YouTube audience?
Guys, show love, show peace, show compassion. Realize that police are victims too.
All right. Taking off, Centurion. Peace, man. All right. And thanks to everyone who's watching at home. If you enjoyed this program, I accept Bitcoin. So if you watch this on YouTube, you can scan that QR code that you see up in the top right-hand corner, and you can send me Bitcoin. I ask for like 50 cents an episode, which is crazy expensive, I know. But if you've got the Bitcoin to spare, send it over, and I'll just keep doing this for you. Thanks. Peace.
If you're like me and you only deal in cash, move to New Hampshire so that you can give it to him in person.
Rock on. Thanks, man.